freedom to gain, we feed them the game. Turn on New Freedom Exchange, we freeing your brain. They trying to shackle your mind, no half of us blind. Remember the past, but never go backwards in time. The ancestors lived through us, they help us build a model community. New Africa is soon to be. So tune in to Sister Marsha, Mujahideen, Imam Bilal, to get your cultural enlightenment now.
Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment. I'm your co-host, Mujahideen, here with...
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha.
Wa alaikum assalam, Imam Bilal Hassan here. Welcome, everyone, to another edition, New Freedom Exchange. Hope everyone is having a great week. I hope everyone had, a great week and is having a great weekend, start of the weekend. And if you are tuned in, give us your salams and let us know where you're tuned in from so we can shout you out and all of that good stuff. Don't forget to please share the stream to your friends and family. Let them know that we are live right now. And also don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for New Freedom Exchange with X, New Freedom Network, and also like us on Facebook, New Freedom Exchange and New Freedom Network. So, what's up, guys?
Nothing much. I mean, we're at another weekend, and so for me, that's time to take it down a little bit. I've been having some weekends where I don't have a bunch of things planned, so that's always nice because usually I'm on the go all the time. So it's nice to sort of get a break when I can. So I'm grateful for that. I know you all were out in Maryland today, and so I'm sure you want to take a little bit of time to talk about that. But on my end, things are all good.
Yeah, yes. Right now, reporting live, at least I'm reporting live here in the first state of Delaware at the rest stop. So getting some rest, a little reprieve from driving. But yes, we were in the state of Maryland today. Our dear beloved brother, Brother Sultan Diego Suleiman passed away. Former president of the Howard University MSA in the years of 2019 and 2020. A good friend of mine, we met when in the work of the HBCU MSA coalition when it first started out, meeting at Howard University for our conference, yearly conference, and he had passed away this past Sunday. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Please keep his family in prayer. It's been a very busy week in organizing the funeral burial arrangements, the janazah, which took place today, this morning, at the masjid he frequented as of late. And alhamdulillah, I mean, the place was packed. The place was packed, brothers and sisters from across at least the tri-state and even across the country came in to give our brother his final rites as a Muslim, which we did all that, and we went to the cemetery and put him in the ground, and it was just it was very sudden. You know, we're not promised tomorrow. It was a celebration too. It is very sad, but it's also a commemoration of his life and his legacy. As to many spoke to the few that did speak today, many spoke to his good character, his contagious good spirit that he had, his inquisitive nature about learning more about Al-Islam and growing in Al-Islam, as he was also in his quest to receive his master's degree in Islamic education from Bayan Institute of Islamic Learning. So that's just a testimony to who he was as a person. And the amount of people that showed up was also a testimony of how many people in that space that showed up today who spoke good of him from all walks of life, Muslim, Christians, Jews, etc. I mean, it was a very beautiful testimony of his character. And inshallah, we will be continuing to uplift his legacy There is a commemorative Zoom commemoration ceremony virtually for those who could not make it. We're putting that together as well, and this will be sometime next week. Some more information forthcoming on that, so everyone can come and share more, because there's more people that want to share about Brother Sultan and his life and his legacy. So yes, Alhamdulillah, we're in the state of Maryland, and we gave our brother his final rites as a Muslim, and made prayer and made supplication, dua for him, and may Allah accept all his work in this life, and may weigh heavy in his favor to allow him to enter Jannah for those. For that we say Ameen.
I mean, and we had the awesome pleasure of driving the family around, the mother, the father, and the auntie, and so that was a different level of connection for me, especially attending the janazah, but also having to be with the mother as she was going through this difficult time in her life, being her only son. But alhamdulillah, they did well. They really appreciate the believers coming out, sharing their experience with them. It definitely pleased their soul. I had the benefit of meeting him just one time when we went down to Howard, I guess in the summer for the tour. He took us on the campus, and they say he goes above and beyond. No matter what he touched, he always increases it, and so that was very prevalent today. So alhamdulillah, glad I was there.
Yeah, I mean, without no further ado, we're back in the month of November. This is Founders Week, or the conclusion of Founders Week, yes, or starting to be the conclusion, with Sunday being the last day of Founders Week, and celebrating the founders, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the whole experience, his wife, the Honorable Clara Muhammad, Farad Muhammad, all the way to the Imam Muhammad. So we've been celebrating right through Islamic Heritage Month, actually, with Imam's birthday being the last of October, and going right into the Founders Week. So today show, we do have a special guest. Unfortunately, our other special guest, Imam Darnell Karim, was not able to be with us this evening, but that show would be rescheduled for one of these Saturdays upcoming. So stay tuned for that. But we do have our other special guest with us, Imam Adam Bryan of the initiative, the 150 for the Clara Muhammad schools that he started some years ago, and is still going strong. So I'm happy to see him here in the space. He's been doing this initiative for a very, 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 very long time. So without no further ado, I don't want to take away from his thunder. I want to allow him to introduce himself. So if we can bring in Imam Bryan, and Assalamu alaikum. You are on mute, Imam Bryan. There we go.
Walaikum assalam. I'm sorry.
There we go. Wa alaikum assalam. Good to have you, beloved. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for inviting us to talk about this important issue.
Alhamdulillah.
Absolutely. We this is a long overdue show, but it's so befitting that we are having you come on the show as we are closing out Founders Week, and for those who aren't aware, Founders Week is a commemoration of those who are significant to the African American Muslim experience here in our country, and there's a highlight for Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Sister Clara Muhammad, and Imam Deen Muhammad. And I know that there are some schools in our community that have been celebrating all week. Muhammad Schools of Atlanta had a whole week full of activities, and it was just great to know that there's time being taken out so that our children understand and know the legacy that they lived through. And I know that also New Africa Ummah Online, they also did some activities in their program as well. And we want this to be something that we do annually, and that we motivate all the schools to take out time to commemorate the legacy of these three, because it is really from their stories and their experience that we have the education institutions that we have today with the Clara Muhammad schools. And so that brings us to you, Imam Adam Bryan, as we are talking about the schools. One of the important things that we know is so significant for the sustainability of our schools is how the schools get funded, right? And how they go forward based on the contributions that are made or are not made, right? And so I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your initiative.
Thank you very much, Sister Marsha and Brother Deen and Brother Imam Bilal. And I think it was fitting what you talked about. This is Founders Week, and we're recognizing Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Imam W. Muhammad, and Sister Clara Muhammad. And it's exciting to see Imam Darnell Karim's book. It's commemorating 90 years of independent African American Islamic education. That right there in itself says a bunch. I remember when I first became a Muslim back in 1972. I know I'm dating myself, but yeah, 1972, when I first became a Muslim, a young man, just turned 21, and it was in Winston-Salem. And then they had a Muhammad University. And so when I came in as a young man, I'm thinking I'm really with family, and I put my arms out, and they put a bundle of Muslim journals in one arm and some bean pies in another arm, you know, and we began selling it. But that's how we raised money for the schools. The minister at the time, Minister Irvin, who's now Imam Irvin Shakir, his philosophy was you fund the schools so that you can pay the teachers a living wage. You understand? We had to, so we sold bean pies. I went to, was in time when we were selling state, my alma mater. I finally went back to school, and we go on the college campus every weekend. First thing we hit was the football during football season, because we know they were hungry. And we had bean pies and carrot cakes and fish sandwiches. And we sold out. But that was for the school. The temple at the time, the masjid is about a couple of blocks from Krispy Kreme Donuts plant, the corporate office and plant. So on Saturdays, some Saturdays, we go and pick up 1,000 boxes of donuts. And we hit the street selling donuts. And we tried to sell the donuts, and we were wrestling with the heat, you know, because if the heat hit those donuts, that glaze is all messed. So we had to sell them before the heat hit. But that's how we supported the school. All right. So, and then the school was such a thing that we had, I think we went through the 8th grade at that time. And then when the 8th grade graduated, we added the 9th grade on. So eventually it became a regular school, 12 to 12th grade. But that's how we funded the schools. It wasn't an idea of where the money going to come from. It was an idea of how we're going to get it. And being a young man, that was my upbringing. I kind of was nurtured in that. And we had a graduating class, and you know, we had some critics saying, "Well, are you accredited?" Now I don't know if you know our mentality back in the 70s. Accredited by who? You know, I'm not gonna tell you what else we said, but we're accredited by who, right? But the 12th grade graduated. One student got accepted at North Carolina State. One student got accepted at Bennett College, another one A&T. That was accreditation enough for us. They didn't ask were you accredited. They said, send your students to us. And we know we had something. So our mentality, and there were many schools around the country like that. People sacrificing to make sure that the school would stay vibrant and independent. So fast forward to 2016. I have a weekly program on American Muslim 360. It's called Money Sense. And normally I talk about investment, taxes, and things of that nature. But my spirit is more than just money sense. I want to talk about everything that's vital to our community. So the idea hit me because I was hearing people say that education is the #1 priority. You probably heard that, right? Well, in my household, if something is a priority, we deal with it. And if it's a #1 priority, we're going to deal with all that's #1. When I found out that schools had gone down, I think that by the time we started, there was 7 full-time schools left. That doesn't sound like a priority to me. So I came up with an idea on the program. I said, I'm going to send $50 a month. There's 7 schools. Every month I'm alternate schools. So within 7 months, every school gets $50. And I like to get 100 people to do what I'm doing, or 99 additional people to do what I'm doing. And I read in the Quran where Allah says, if there's 100 fervent, He will conquer that. You know, the power of 100. So by the end of my program, I had 13 people said that we'll join you. Right. And then I was told that kind of advertising is not welcome at that time, you know. So I had to take it offline and go to people that I know. I mean, that's when I met Imam Bilal here. I talked to Imam Bilal, and he liked the idea, and he helped us spread the message. So we began doing that, and this is going on. April of 2016 was our first month of existence, and we're talking about going on 8 years. 8 years, and I don't know if we reached 100 yet or not, but I do know over that from April till now, we raised about almost $300,000 for education. Every month, the school of the month. Like this month, the school of the month is Clara Muhammad School, Nashville. And I sent an email blast out to the people that say they want to participate, and they okay this month. And if I get some, we have some followers that they're not good at email. So they call me every month. Brother, man, what school are we supporting this month? And I can wait on the calls coming in. Right. So that is what 150 is all about. And my thinking is this, you know, we get people that suggest, well, why don't y'all say 100 at 1,000? Right. And then someone said, well, why don't you say $10 a month? You'll be able to get more people. No, I mean, because we have people that they don't have 50, they'll send 10 anyway. They send what they have. Some people send 100. So I don't want to limit people, but it's just something about 150. And right now, as you see, it's an institution because it's going on. And we need to spread the word more. We need more people to find out what we're doing, you know. And if we can do that, I mean, it could just as well be 3 million people. If all the people that say they follow this association, it could just be $3 million by now, if more people buy in. So that's what. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about it, and I'm open for any questions you might have, or anybody in the audience might want to ask.
Yes, I thank you so much for sharing that story around the 150 and how it became to be. We've talked on this show several times amongst ourselves and even with our guests about the importance of independent education. We all know, you know, whether we talk about it in spaces like this or just in our personal lives, we all know that what is offered to our children in the public space in terms of education is not the most beneficial for them. And as we work on rebuilding our Clara Muhammad School institution, we'll continue to promote that. What we offer and the Clara Muhammad school system is beneficial for our young people, and not just our Muslim young people, but our African American young people and our human children, right? What we teach in our schools is centered around children being connected to their humanity and discovering themselves and discovering the world around them by connecting with with the natural world and using that as a way to connect them to their creator. And when you lay it out like that, it's like, who doesn't want that for their children? I think, as parents, when you have your little baby and you think about, when the child gets to the age of being in school, you want them to be in the best environment and the most nurturing environment, and an environment that allows them to keep their innocence for as long as they could possibly have that innocence. And what's being given to them and promoted, like I said, in the public space, doesn't help to maintain that for them. And so when we talk about initiatives such as 100 at 50, this is a way to invest in that type of education, a type of education that helps to sustain your child's nature, right? And I just feel like we need to be saying that more, to each other and to the world. And for those of us, as you said, like, we have enough people in our association and we have enough people in our communities who value this type of thing that could be making this commitment, investing in this way to commit to helping young children have access to an education that helps to keep them pure, but also connects them to their creator through what they're learning. That's so important, and it gets overlooked so much because we just think, okay, the child is 5 and now they've got to go to kindergarten, they've got to now start their education in school, and whatever they learned in the school with the teacher, is what they learn, and then they come back home and then we do something different, and then they do something different at school. And that's a dichotomy that our children unfortunately are learning to navigate with. But then there's this challenge at some point of connecting back to the creator. And so if you can keep them in an environment that allows them to sustain that from early in their education, that's ideal. And so my prayer and my efforts are both aligned to restoring the Sister Clara Muhammad School in as many locales as possible. We have some great institutions that are thriving right now, and we have some that are rejuvenating, and it's exciting to see. But those efforts are going to need support, and not just cheerleaders to say, hey, go do it, but they're going to need financial support. And I think that the program that you have is a wonderful way to do that. The $50 is not super taxing on people, and like you said, if somebody doesn't have it, they just send in anyway. But to have more people commit to the effort is really what's going to get us to that next stage. So I just wanted to point that out because what you do is so important. I remember when our Clara Muhammad School in Newark was active, we would receive the funds about twice a school year. And it really was beneficial to have those funds. I know one time we were able to have the children participate in some arts education at New Jersey PAC. And they were able to do that. And that was right before the pandemic. So they got to go to a few of the shows at NJ PAC through this arts education program. And it was great because otherwise we may not have had the funding for them to do that extra thing. And then we also know that schools are using the funds that come in to support their operating budget, and they really depend on those funds to keep going. So I think 150 is great, and I would like to see more people donate to it. And I don't want to take up too much of your time. When we start talking about the Clara Muhammad schools, I just get a little extra excited. So I'm going to let my co-host do a little bit more of the talking.
Alhamdulillah. Imam Bilal, so if you could elaborate on the audience a little bit about some of your short-term goals with the 150 for the rest of the year and moving into 2023. What's some of the, what is some of the goals that you all have with the program with 150?
Well, and I don't want to say something to what Sister Marsha said about the parents. One thing at 150, we see all the children as our children. All right, that's our responsibility. You know, I talked about when I first came into the community, the thing was our nation building, right? Well, there's no difference between that nation building and Ummah building. However you want to couch it, the issue is we're trying to build for the future. We're trying to build our community. So again, the thing is now it's pretty much an automatic pilot, and we hope we get new people come in, and unfortunately some of our supporters have passed on. They died, but we have some that take their place. But we need to present to people that these are your children. This is our community. This is our future. When I was selling the donuts and the bean pies in the newspapers back in the 70s, I didn't have any children in the school, but I did, if you understand what I'm saying. That was our responsibility. And if people see it that way, I think if we get people just to make that paradigm shift and look at it, these are our children, these are our responsibility. These are things that we can benefit. I had a brother come up to me and he started talking about Sadaqah Jariyah. I've heard of that term, right? And he started talking to me about Sadaqah Jariyah, and he put the Arabic term in front of it. And because he put the Arabic term in front of it, some of the people in the masjid wanted to participate and send money to build a well over in West Africa. And because the well flows and people receive water from the well, that's recurring sadaqah. And I said, well, we got to see the well that we have here in these schools. That's a well too. The knowledge is flowing like water. And if we can educate children, and they grow up and and become productive adults in the community, that's Sadaqah Jariyah too, in my estimation. So I said, I was telling the group we have a conference call twice a month. Maybe we need to come up with an Arabic term. A nice little catchy Arabic term. Someone might catch on and start supporting it. Because I know, and I'm asking, people were talking about Sadaqah Jariyah, and I'm looking at the treasurer. He wish they would pay Sadaqah and Zakat locally. So we just need to have a paradigm shift and know that if we want to have a future in this country with our community, education, teaching the children is a must. Because as you say, Sister Marsha, the public school system, if people really look at the public school system, they would run back and support 150. Because that's not going to produce what we need for the future. So I guess, Brother Bilal, just to tell more people and get more support. Again, once we send the money to the school knows what to do with the money. We don't dictate what the money goes for, only unless a school comes up. And I know Clara Muhammad School in Nashville, Imam Yusuf and Sister Monson, about the first year, they said they needed to buy some, not notebooks, but tablets for the students. And we were able to tap into the 150 members, and they were able to get money for 15 tablets. So those are special types things, right? Those are special things. But just to be able to continue providing a shot in the arm for school, they know that now it's every 6 months. Every 6 months they're going to get some money in, and that just do a whole lot for them. So I guess that would be, I would say that would be something you want to continue to do.
Yeah, I want to say something. I got a little background noise, but I don't know if I mean I know y'all heard it, but I don't know if y'all really heard it. I mean, he said over the last 8 years, over $300,000 was raised, going directly to the school. He didn't tax it. He didn't get no cut. He didn't ask for any compensation. It goes straight to the institution. The institution in turn is able to decide where that fund goes that best fits their particular school. And so I think it is that psychology that you address, right? That social psychology. Like our show is around social dignity, and you present this program, and the pioneers. I'm sure the majority of those have taken on that task. There's no way we can't, as young people as well, take on that task as well. I mean, we spend. I'm not even gonna say what people spend $50 on nowadays. I mean, you get $50 on a pair of socks now. You know what I mean? And so it's like there's so much that we can do to continue the legacy that our pioneers started out selling pies. I'm still a pie guy, and donuts, and still having the psychology for the institution that's going to outlive them. And as he said, he didn't even have children, and so normally Marsha does the charge, but I'm a borrow it for a little bit on the front end. That especially the brothers, we have an obligation to protect and sustain our communities, and the foundation of our communities are the offspring, are the children, and so let's not take this for granted because we think we may not see it instantly. That may be the psychology that we have to get through, right? Because we don't see an instant benefit, we don't participate. But we have so many witnesses among us, pioneers over the generations, that their small, consistent sacrifice brought us to where we are now. I could go anywhere in America and be mujahideen with no problem, and someone dare try to say otherwise, right? It's because of those who made that sacrifice to put me in an environment in the school system that we have to be what we are. So I appreciate what you're doing, Imam Adam, and all those who are a part of this and other initiatives that support the vital institution of our education.
Yes. I know one.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead, man.
Real quick, I know that one brother told me he had gone to his grandson, and the grandson asked him, "What's in it for me?" So when he told me that, I said, "Well, he's not the one we're looking for." And I can imagine in 1972, me coming to FY class talking about what's in it for me. They probably threw me out on my head. But no, you got to have a vision for the future to do this kind of work.
Yeah, and I guess where I was going was sort of in line with what you had just the story you just told us, and that I do think that in our communities, in our local communities, we do have to make the case for the fact that this is important to invest in. I think in our masajids, but also, I think it sort of extends outside of the masajids too, right? Because I made the point earlier that this education is not just beneficial for Muslim children, right? So, it's beneficial for all children, especially when we consider wanting to keep our children connected to their humanity, so much so that they don't, see it so easy to just pick up rifles and kill a bunch of children in a school. That's a disconnect from your humanity. But I do think that we need to be more conscious of making the case for the importance of this investment, right? Because it's an investment. And you said earlier, maybe we need to add an Arabic term to it. Maybe, I don't know, but perhaps the language that sort of connects to people, investment. And even when the brother says, well, what's in it for me, well, what's in it for you is to see a society where children are thriving and they are growing up to be productive adults, and productive husbands and wives and business owners, and that is being perpetuated in the community. And you don't have to be concerned about who's gonna steal from you or who's going to hurt you or who's going to, attempt to kill you, because that person is not a disconnected human being. That person is a connected human being to their creator. And that's really what's in it for all of us. And then I think about the sustainability of the schools, right? We're talking about making a financial investment that keeps the school going, or allows them to do a little bit more, or allows them to advance their curriculum so that the children are competitive in society. When I think about that, I think about the fact that we have to, even on the schools ends, be, articulate to the community what we are able to do with these funds, what our visions are for these institutions, where we see ourselves going, what we've already been able to accomplish, what we plan to accomplish. I think how we live in society right now is very much into like, well, what's the return on investment? And I know for, you're an accountant by trade. So like, those are sort of financial terms that not everyone is always connected to. But I feel like in this society of technology, everyone's sort of like, well, if I do this, then this. And I think that if we can showcase what is coming out of this investment, that will also help. But it's important. I mean, all my children have been students of Sister Clara Muhammad School. My oldest daughter is now a freshman at Howard University, and she attended Clara Muhammad School. My middle daughter is a junior in high school. Her plans are to go to Princeton, so we'll see where that goes for her. And then my 11-year-old, because our Clara Muhammad School needed to close because of low enrollment, she's now in a gifted and talented program in the public school system. But that's not the ideal for me as a parent. I would love for her to be back in Clara Muhammad School. And so just know that those investments are connected to real life scenarios and real people, people like me who would want to have their children in an environment where that is conducive to their learning. I remember when my oldest daughter, she first went to high school, and so although she graduated 8th grade from Clara Muhammad School, when she went to high school, that wasn't a Clara Muhammad School setting. And one of the first things she came home and said was, "Mommy, I don't know what is wrong with those children. Why can't they just sit down, take the instruction, and go forward? Like, what is that behavior about?" Because that's not the environment that she came from. Yeah. And it wasn't, her being judgy about the other children. It was just like, I don't understand this, because in the learning environment that she was in, it didn't include all that she was seeing in the classroom. And I like to believe that we all want that for our children. And it takes investing in institutions like a Clara Muhammad School and the affiliate schools to do that. And we know, I mean, we don't have to shy away from it. It takes money to sustain it. There's no two ways about it, to keep lights on, to pay for curriculum, to pay teachers, for the children to be able to have activities, for them to be competitive in the public space. It takes money. If you ever attempted to put your child in a charter school, you've got to first register them in the public school for them to go to the charter school, because the money has to flow from the public to the charter school on the child's behalf. So even when we talk about those charters, it's money that's making the school thrive. So if we want independent education and we feel as though that's best for our children, it's going to take an investment in order to do that. That's what happens in the public space. We know that what we have to offer our children is best. We just know it. And we haven't always committed ourselves financially to what we know we could provide in the best possible way. And so, again, we're highlighting this 150 initiative to be able to say, listen, this is an avenue to be able to do it. And if you are blessed to be able to provide $50 a month towards this initiative, make it happen. Make it happen. If that's important to you, if you want to see the schools succeed, not just succeed, thrive, then this is an initiative that you could get behind. And if you want to know how the schools are doing and what they have planned and where your investment's going, I'm connected to the Clara Muhammad Schools Network. That the schools are open. They're open to being able to provide that information to anyone who's investing, because they want to see it become what they envision it could be. And for those who've been in the community for as long as they have, and were around during a time where there were 40 some odd schools and there was the University of Islam, we know that we can do it, right? So that's not a question. It's about now, do we have the financial piece to do it? Do we have the qualified educators to do it? And some of those questions we can answer very easily. Some of them, we're working through, and I would think part of that would be this financial piece. So again, I get very I get very wordy when it comes to these schools, because it's a passion of mine. Inshallah, you'll see more Clara Muhammad schools in our communities. If I have anything to do with it, I'll just keep working in this vein until something happens, along with a bunch of other committed people. And I just wanted to make that last statement, that there are a lot of people across the country that are working to see this system thrive once again, and make the financial commitment to help it become a reality.
I think
Go ahead,
the part that I want to go back and emphasize is the part of when we were talking about the environment, and want to just focus a little bit on just a second with that, and reflection on what the scripture, the Quran, our religious text, our religious book, the last revelation sent to mankind, reminds us about the plant life is similar to human life, is basically a similitude of the plant life, right? And we know with plants, they have to have a certain environment. That environment is very important to establish early with the soil. That's the environment. It's a naked place first. It's no seeds in the ground yet. You're just analyzing the soil. You're looking at the environment. You're seeing if it's still suitable. You're testing the pH. You're doing all the running of the tests to make sure it's suitable for what? That seed to be dropped into that earth, to be buried into that earth, right? So when we look at that, we should be looking at that as also as a development for ourselves as human beings. We go through stages of development. We need good soil, which is a good environment. We need good sunlight. We need water. We need those things that a plant needs, and that comes from our environment. So our parents, right? Our parents, our families, our communities. Our community as a whole, which contributes to that seed being able to grow and to reap fruit, right? And when I look at the graduation of our Clara Muhammad School students from the elementary to middle school to high school, it's that growth. Most of us, in fact, a large portion of us, including myself, graduate from the Clara Muhammad School system, and we're indebted to the Clara Muhammad School and very grateful for the institution and what it did for us to be able to be here in the various occupations that we occupy, and be married and et cetera, and have children of our own, and want to see our children be able to go to a Clara Muhammad school system. I think that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the goals. That's how you keep a community thriving, and keep our children in an environment where it's conducive for them to grow, not just educationally, but also Islamically, but then also the social, emotional intelligence. And I think I believe the teachers and those volunteers really, really sacrifice a lot to deal with the children in the Clara Muhammad school system, who, by the way, may not have been blessed to have two parents, a two-parent household. Let's be clear, we're not blessed to have two-parent households, and had a lot of other things going. They could have been transfers from public school going to the Clara Muhammad school system. They could have been coming from different environments and having all sorts of issues, which is fine, because guess what? You may come in through a different door, but you're gonna come out the same door with everyone else. You're gonna come out the same door with everyone else, and you're gonna be that tree. You're gonna be that tree that's gonna give off fruit, inshallah. Just want to say that.
No problem. But I think that's a good retort for that brother to say, "What's in it for me?" Clearly, if you read in the Quran, Allah tells us what's in it for us. Right? He styles it as a loan. Who would loan to Allah a beautiful loan? And Allah will increase it manifold. Right? So, I mean, those types of things should motivate us. And we're in an environment, we got to try to reason with people. With me, when I came in, it wasn't a point of reason. It was a point of being motivated to do something. I didn't need a whole lot of extraneous reasons or explanations for whatever reason, because I came in wanting to learn. And I came in to the temple with a lot of older brothers whom I respected a lot. So it didn't take a lot of explanation. And that's one of the reasons when we formed 150, I said, send the money directly to the schools. Don't send it to me. Right? Don't send it to any organization, because they might get amnesia like they normally do. Right? Send it to the schools. And I don't want nobody accusing me of, like one sister called me and said, "Brother Imam, what you doing with the money?" I said, "What money?" I said, "I don't receive any money." Because I know the first way you get things going, somebody whispered to her, "What he doing with the money?" Well, I don't collect the money. No money comes to me. I don't want the money. Send it directly to the school where they can use it. And we're not talking about a lot of money, so don't ask the schools, what are they doing with the money? I mean, Sister Marsha, when you were principal and the money came in, was that money earmarked to be spent on something you needed? Right?
Absolutely. Yep.
I mean,
and they came in, individuals were just sending checks, and we just got a bunch of individual checks.
Now, did you buy a new car the next month?
Absolutely not.
I mean, you follow what I'm saying? I just know how people think, right? I'm glad you didn't buy a car, even though you might have done it for yourself. Look at that. Look what she's doing with the money. See, we don't need that mentality here. And it's like this. It's like when I paid charity, zakat at the masjid, right? Once I pay it, it's off of me. I get that blessing. Now, if somebody there misuse it, that's on them, not on me, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But seriously, education is expensive. I used to own a bookstore, and we had a sign in our bookstore: if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Right? It's expensive. You got whole churches like the Baptist Assembly here in the South. The African American Baptists send their money to the public HBCUs. Right? That's what they do. They support the education. So we don't have that, so we can either be mealy mouth, say we don't have enough money, or we can come up with alternative ways. Because I want to, like you, Sister Marsha, I like to see 40 or more schools around the country, right? And if me giving money to help that, not to any organization, but giving money to the schools directly to help that, I would gladly do that, because I know that's important, and I know that the public schools, as fine as they are, have serious issues, especially when it comes to minority students, especially. In North Carolina, a report came out that the test levels of schools had gone down because of COVID-19. And guess what schools they were highlighting? Right? So that could be our contribution to this. And I always think about Sister Clara Muhammad. Imam told us that when she took her children out of public schools, and they sent the truant officers. Y'all don't remember truant officers, right? But when I was growing up, I think that was the last end of truant officers. If you didn't go to school, they sent a truant officer to your house to find out where you're at, where your children was at. They don't even do that anymore. The children don't come to school, they all right. One lady told me she was teaching a new teacher, and she was teaching a class, teacher's aide, and one of the students had gone to sleep with his head on the desk. So she went to wake him up. The teacher said, "Don't wake him up." She said, "Why not?" Well, because he's in a seat, so the money's gonna come. If you wake him up, he might disrupt the class. See, we don't need him awake. We just need his hiney in the seat, right? So those are the things that we can avoid, and if we get more people to support this. Now, don't get me wrong. There are other things that people can do. We're not the solution for everything. We're not that solution. So one brother said, I'm a copy of what you do and call her whatever. I didn't get mad with him. I said, go ahead, brother, that's good. Because if you copy what I'm doing and you're successful, guess what? I'm going to get a blessing because you did copy what I did and was successful with it. I still get a blessing. So we hopefully we can get more people. And I hope we get some good response from that. And if they do respond, I know, Bilal, you have my contact information. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but if they do respond, somebody wants to get involved, we just need to put them on our email blast and we can tell them what schools should be supported.
Excellent. As we come to an end, do you mind sharing that email so people could send that their email to your email so they can get on that blast? Also, is there any other contact you'd like to share? You can share that and give us any closing remarks as we come to not the completion of this topic, but just to the end of the show.
Okay. They can email me at adam@BR, my last name, accounting.com. adam@braccounting.com. And they can even text me. I'll give them my text number. It's 910, I'm in cell phone, 910-527-6641. And I can add your email address to our email blast, and we email that goes out the first of every month on which school we're supporting for the current month and how you can get in contact with them. So
Excellent. Alhamdulillah. We really appreciate Imam Adam Bryan for taking your time out from your schedule to be here with us to share during this Founders Week special edition of New Freedom Exchange. And I think it's very important, vital, that we figure out ways, tangible ways that we can support our institutions. And tonight, alhamdulillah, I think we have presented a tangible solution, one of the tangible solutions, to support 100 at 50, to get on that mailing list, sending your $50 in to support the schools. It's a starting point. That this model can be reproduced all across the country and can be reproduced so many different ways. It could be looked at so many different ways. So just because Imam Adam Bryan started it does not mean it should end with him. No. You know what I'm saying? If you have an idea, you see that it could be remixed, you can expand upon it. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? We have to keep the streams of ideas open too, not just the streams of revenue. You're not gonna get no money if you don't have an idea. You, you better, so let's start flowing with the streams of ideas so we can actually take those ideas and actually make them turn them into streams of income for our institutions. So if you have ideas, let's get busy with them, inshallah. So believers, those who are listening now and those who will be listening later on to the replay, go to contact Imam Adam Bryan. His contact information is right there at the bottom of the screen. And get on the mailing list and start sending those $50, your contribution. And it could be more. I saw some of them checks come in when I was at Muhammad School of Queens. Some people donated more. Some didn't even donate $50. Some of them gave more. If you want to give more, may Allah bless you. You know what I'm saying? And we're all open to that. If you're able to give more, or if you're not able to meet 50, give 40, give 30, give 20. Give Starbucks your Starbucks coffee money that you save. Maybe you sacrifice Starbucks for the month, and what's that, like $5 a cup, $6 a cup? I don't know. That all adds up at the end of the day, right? Instead of giving them money, you give the school some money. It's just other ways. It's just sometimes we have to make the extra sacrifice, because that's what's going to take to build our sustainable communities that we look forward to seeing.
Thank you very much, Brother Brown. And since I've been doing 150, I haven't lost any money. Allah's rewarded me. My business is growing. And Sister Marsha, when y'all ready to get back on the list, let us know. Okay?
Inshallah, we'll be on there in September. We are working to reopen for September. We have been working diligently every month. Sometimes we were meeting like 6 a.m. on Saturdays. So we're working. The goal is to be back in operation September. So look out for Clara Muhammad School North in September 2023. I know that all the schools around the country are, for those that are active, they are looking to strengthen what they have going. And for those who are looking to renew what once was, they are working diligently to establish. Many of them are a part of the Clara Muhammad Schools Network, which I'm blessed to be a part of. And we're excited. We're excited. We're ready. We're motivated. We are excited to connect resources for each other, to push each other along. So this is another opportunity. The 150 is another opportunity to help us in the work that we're doing on the schools end. So we look forward to those who will join the 150 initiative, if you're not already a part, to help us to move this great engine forward.
Absolutely. I came up with that Arabic name. It's going to be called AKA the Nasiba Calf Fund. AKA the Nasiba Calf Fund. Get your share, give your share to the 150 monthly. That the funds go directly to the school if you need that extra boost. Get your share, give your share. So we thank you for coming on, dear Imam Adam Bryan, for sharing this platform with us and this program that's been diligently going for over the last several years. And we also thank you for tuning in, those who have tuned in to our Founders Week edition. Oh, can you see all of it? You can't see all of it. That's the Sister Clara Muhammad School Network giving us that banner. There are a couple announcements that we want to do before we close. There are a couple events coming up. I know we have a Time to Be Grateful coming up. That's in December 9th to 11th. They still have tickets. It's going to be at the Hilton Crystal City in Arlington, Virginia. So you can check that out on the website. And then we did see our dear sister. They giving her honor. They
Whoa,
just
whoa,
dropped
whoa,
that
drum,
flyer.
drum roll.
Yeah,
Okay,
I ain't gonna do the drum roll. Our time is tight, but they did drop this flyer. This is going on in Mount Vernon in January. Sister Marsha is one of the honorees at the Women's Award fundraiser. Their theme for New Year's, January 8th, it's a brunch from 10 to 2. The theme is Women Who Nurture and Teach Our Society. So it's only fitting that it dropped around this time as well because of honoring our mother, Clara, community mother, Clara Muhammad. Is there any other announcements you have, Brother Imam, before we close? Imam Bilal?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
Thank you very much again. And look forward to tuning in next week.
You got it. Inshallah, until next time. I got a new drop. We about to drop a new drop by Shadiaki. Shadiaki concerts tour is coming soon. We might be live in Detroit in February. So if you have an interest in being on that show, if you're in Detroit area or the Midwest area, reach us on our email at newfreedomexchangeshow@gmail.com. That's newfreedomexchange with an X show@gmail.com. Until next time, peace.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Peace.
Alaikum assalam.
Legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, visit muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, 999. Legacy, muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, visit muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, 999. Legacy, muslimjournal.net online.
I got my checkup. Gambling the Reaper, I ain't cool with neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I don't use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with Peter. I got my checkup. Gambling the Reaper, I ain't cool with neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I don't use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with Peter.
Hop in and hop out the recycling server to the Baccarat. This is the genre that's popular. Show me somebody that's stopping us. Show me somebody that's topping us. Plant my foot in the game, I'm a botanist. Watching the seed grow. To the rose, I'm me, bro. And the precious, I'm Smeego. And a we go. But I'm fly like a seagull. And the money is legal. Every scene, though, it go back to the people. I don't hit the casino. That's my stilo. Change my life like Carlito. Love the mic like I'm Tito. Keep it Gito. Only one ain't no trio. Hit the one like you Neo.
I got my checkup. Gambling the Reaper, I ain't cool with neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I don't use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with Peter. I got my checkup. Gambling the Reaper, I ain't cool with neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I don't use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with Peter.
Shawty, I'm on a mission. Islam, my true religion. Do this rap thing with precision. I just got tunnel vision. For the Deen, I'll go to prison till Messiah has risen.
For the Deen, I'll go to prison till Messiah has risen.
I make every single dollar like I'm in the Musala. Right after I get the guala, spending the way of Allah. We came from Elijah Muhammad, so the bow tie's intentional. Still respected in the streets because we multi-dimensional. Make our own ways to get money, we don't do it conventional. Ain't no get down or lay down, cause membership is consensual. I keep posse, flash by paparazzi, copy, poppy. You can try, but you can't block me. Satan try to stop me. We the best of creatures, all our name is Young Khalifa. You step foot in my house, you gotta remove your sneakers. They say they love my delivery, they ain't talking pizza. They talking about that soon the music banging out your speakers.
I got my check up, I got my check up. Gambling the Reaper, I ain't cool with neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I don't use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with Peter. I got my check up, I got my check up. Gambling the Reaper, I ain't cool with neither. Ain't handling the Nina, I don't use the heat. Ain't handling the leader, I still fool with Peter.
We the best of creatures, all our name is Young Khalifa. All our name is